So I'll probably start the recording around here. So thanks everyone for joining us today. I know a lot of you are going to be watching this recording. It is hard with an international group to find a time that works for everyone, which is why we're recording today's session. I am very excited to be introducing the founder of Green Youth Movement today. He is probably one of the most ambitious young men I've ever met. And he is not just ambitious, but he's ambitious about a beautiful thing, which is connecting community agriculture and vulnerable families to supply better food security. So I don't want to go too long. Mugisha, please introduce yourself. Please introduce Green Youth Movement.
Okay, thank you so much. It is my pleasure to meet everyone here. As last time, some of you we had a meeting, and it is again a pleasure to meet you, to see you attend this meeting. That means you are working along with us. Allow me introduce our work as a Green Youth Movement in Uganda to those who were unable to attend, and to those who are just now new to us, and who have just attended this first meeting. So the Green Youth Movement is an organization that is working within the Byarima communities, the central communities of Uganda. Allow me first introduce the background as why this organization started. In our region has a lot of hunger that is affecting families, is affecting, you find that learners are going to school without anything in the stomach. You find that the farmers who are here, are using the old methods of agriculture. So even if they do what they grow alone, they grow using large lands, they are harvesting nothing. Not only that, that is on the side of farmers that are here. So we grew an idea that we can make all things happen. We can produce more food once we teach this once we train them how to grow more food, once we train people to use smaller spaces for agriculture, sustainable living. We believe that they can get what to eat always. On the side of the schools, several schools here, both primary and secondary schools, have been having their learners without anything. Remember, the learners here study from morning up to evening time. So all that time they have been spending at school with nothing to eat. You find that a learner is studying since morning up to evening time, evening hours. I believe none of us here can feel well when his children, they are hungry, or they are from morning up to evening without anything they have taken in the stomach. So we saw that this one could not only lead to loss of health or loss of lives, or maybe due to some sicknesses, but also can affect the education system, the education of these learners. So we had to introduce these activities in the schools such that we can teach all the younger people how to produce food, such that they can form school gardens where they become the living laboratories on how they can study science of plants and food production. Once these learners, they have got this knowledge from schools where we work with, they portray it back to their communities and families. So you find that once we target these younger people in the schools, everything will be solved that is affecting the communities. When we come to the youth in the communities, you know, our communities have been so much affected by unsocial behaviors like alcoholism. We find youths below 30 years of age here in Uganda, instead of doing productive work, they stay in alcoholism. They take alcohol since morning up to evening time without working. You find that and moreover, here the rate of marrying at a low age, it is high. You find that they are having families, so they are neglecting their families. So you find that everything is shut down. You find that people are suffering. You find that people that are having nothing to eat. You find that their children are staying at school, coming back at home. There is nothing like enough to eat. and if it is there, it is not nutritious. So that is why we brought these programs to improve these communities, especially through controlling hunger and also promoting environmental conservation within these communities. Like nowadays, I believe I have been communicating with several people that there is high increased temperatures. The increased temperatures are as a result of neglecting on how to conserve the environment. So we believe that once we bring younger people and grow up as responsible citizens on how to conserve the environment and on how to grow food, 90 of the general problems can be solved because there will be no hunger and our environment could be conserved. So allow me tell where we are now. Currently, we are working with schools, primary schools, and though not much schools, but others we are still in talks. Like the Moonlight National Primary School, Excel Secondary School, Exodus Senior Secondary School. So far, we are feeding families in Uganda here. We have been able to use our land that we are renting seasonally to grow crops. You find that we are growing the harvests, then we share with the communities and vulnerable families. Since our start of 2024, a change has been seen in the community because we have been welcomed by the school who are interested in our programs and others who are still in talk with us. So we believe that by next year or in the time to come, we shall be conquering even more communities. We shall be training more people. We shall be growing more food that can feed more families in Uganda that are having nothing to eat. So allow me, I think what I've talked can elaborate someone about our work in Uganda and where we are heading and our vision of feeding more families, training more young people and communities on how to produce food sustainably using small spaces available, as well as conserving the environment. By conserving the environment, we are promoting, there is what we call forestry, food forestry programs where we serve the fruit trees. These fruit trees not only conserve the environment, but also they are sources of fruits. These fruits are supplements to the food that we eat. So once these fruits are available, again, they will again somehow reduce hunger that is affecting the communities. At the same time, conserving the environment. I think that is really great to everyone. Again, we coordinate with different people. We communicate with different schools. We want to introduce themselves to us, and also we introduce ourselves to them so that we can share, we can do what. So not only here, but we need also to connect with international people like soil scientists, like everyone who can contribute to us, who can support our work, stand strong. Like you can come and we do our work together here. So that's we can also do as you're coming, as your advice, as anything that you can help with that is concerning our work, that you can make more differences in the community, can be appreciated really. So allow me to stop here and submit to Jesse. I think anyone who will be with a question, we are ready to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mugisha.
All right.
Beautiful. I haven't heard you go so long. Thank you for taking the time, especially at your evening, to give us such a wonderful address. I'm going to be saying some of the things Mugisha said again, some of it with a little more detail. Want everyone to know that this meeting's recording is also going to be available as a transcript in case there's any of that we lost via cell phone reception. So, taking us to where Mugisha has been and how much he has done on a single 1 acre. A single acre in Mugisha's community, the Foundation of Green Youth Movement, has already provided over a ton of food to the community. 25 fruit trees, which may not sound like a lot, but if you picture a small town and 25 fruit trees, it's quite a bit. As well as, like Mugisha said, there is currently a primary school that is fully enrolled with 4 more on board. So I'm going to go into each of these programs just a little bit more so that there is a full understanding of what Green Youth Movement is aimed at. Primarily, the demonstration farm is where a lot of the action happens. It is a community farm. It is a place where every single stage of food production is an educational experience for the community, as well as you can see in one of these photos, the harvests do in fact go back to the people who work the land. It has primarily been maize, but corn is not the most nutritious crop, so there are more varieties of plants being planted this year. Um, in the future, this is going to become even more of an educational center, more of a center for Green Youth Movement. The school outreach program is probably one of the ones that excites me most as someone who has volunteered with children a lot. The photos you see here are Mugisha working with Moonlight Primary School. It is a part of the school land that is converted into a farm by the students themselves, which means every year they get to experience the full life cycle, the full crop cycle of their work, as well as the preliminary things like doing soil improvement. It is also the case that the crops harvests are fed back to the children. So it is very much students learning how to grow their own food and then getting that food themselves for nutrition programs. Also of particular interest to me, having been in the fruit tree nursery space myself, is this idea of providing families a single fruit tree, every family in the community ideally, as well as the education and resources they need to take care of that fruit tree. It is a program that overlaps with those young students getting educational experience, as when these fruit trees are mature and providing fruit, they're really going to be providing fruit for those students. So this is Green Youth Movement thinking very far into the future and planting an entire forest of food. This is also a project that very much needs more physical space, which gets us to our next place, which is Green Youth Movement needs land more than anything else next. 3 acres is the goal, approximately 5,000 US dollars per acre. Plus some fees. We'll get to the fundraising part in a second. But why this is important to be the first thing. Land, particularly in central Uganda, is going to take some remediation, and that is going to take some time. So as soon as the land is acquired, that remediation work can begin. Similarly, having a location that is Green Youth Movements really starts to allow for a better educational headquarters. Maybe not a built structure like is shown in the photo, but that would be the goal of this land. And then, like I mentioned before, it's very critical that a fruit tree nursery actually has space to do the propagation work. So if Green Youth Movement's truly going to expand and provide more and more fruit trees to not just one town, but multiple towns, it will require significantly more space. So that is the phase that we're working on. It is important to also see where we're headed as an organization. So right now we are in the fundraising phase, developing these ideas. As 3 acres are acquired, there's also going to be further demonstration of this work. So there will be the further establishment of the demonstration farm, there will be the enrollment of more schools, and obviously the expansion of the fruit tree nursery. As those all come online, it's really looking towards phase 4. Phase 3 will happen along the way, but it is Green Youth Movement's goal to become a full registered nonprofit. So phase 3 is probably going to change in how long it takes based on how much work it takes to reach that registration status. So that's where we're headed. This is a very malleable plan. Like Mugisha wanted to have this organization built on permaculture principles. allowing some change throughout time is important for us. This is a call to action meeting, and we've gotten pretty far into everything that we're doing, but this is the way we really need help. There are really no end, but we've listed a few ways. So experts and specialists, if you touch soil, if you touch plants for a living, you might be an expert for us, right? If you touch nutrition, whether that's inside of a medical clinic or just part of a larger international look at nutrition and food scarcity, you are definitely an expert we want to talk to. Similarly, organizations like this take a lot of behind the scenes work. So people who do public relations, people who have done aid organization in the past, people who have fundraising and marketing experience. I could list all of the things, but I think if you're here watching this recording, you might know. But I also want to call out that there is an educational component to this program. And although there might not be a simple transfer of like printed documents, we're also looking for teachers and school administrators to make the most of the school outreach program. And then even more behind the scenes, there is website design and hosting. There is ideally somebody who has gone through a nonprofit registration program. And then if none of these things really fit you, we do just need amplifiers, people who share the content, whether that's LinkedIn or Facebook or WhatsApp. And then finally, we also just need donors. If opening your wallet is the easiest thing, achieving 3 acres of land is going to help a lot of young people and vulnerable families. Similarly, if you're in a place where your time or your wallet isn't an option, we're also going to need essential resources down the road, whether that's seeds for crops, whether that's actual equipment to harvest those crops or to remediate the land. These items are going to be trickier with transportation challenges, but we aren't afraid of asking for your help. Some of these aren't physical, some of them could be electronic, right? Your expertise might be translatable, not in time, but in documentation. We're looking for all the help we can get. In the future, the slide looks like it got cut off a little bit, but we are going to have monthly action meetings. So anyone who is welcome can join. We're just going to be discussing what needs to be done. Unlike this meeting, which was a lot about what we're doing, it's going to be future focused. Hey, we need people to share the fundraiser. Hey, we need to know more about how to remediate this soil. So actionables. And then we're also going to start a volunteer group chat for anybody on WhatsApp. It'll be a community. Basically in between those monthly meetings, providing status updates. And then if being a volunteer right now doesn't work for whatever reason, join in the future. You will always be welcome. We're not going to ask for a lot. We're just going to ask for your presence. Which brings me to the last slide here, which is we have launched a GoFundMe officially. It is live. There is a link in this slide deck, which will be shared to you. It is, in fact, this link right here. We did receive our first donation this morning. So basically, as this recording went live, somebody decided to donate to us. So we are on our way to raising that $16,000. Thank you everybody for attending, and thank you for taking the time to watch this recording if that's how you got here. We will be providing more information soon on that next action meeting. Thank you.